You know that smoking hasn't killed as many people as COVID. That's not true, I just made that up. But I'm really here to tell you a little bit about my life and how I came to do what I do today. Most people ask me, how is it that you got to the point that you've gotten today and created what today is doc.com. So here we go. It all started many years ago. My mother, she was the type of mother that likes to brainwash their children into thinking they should be doctors or lawyers from a very young age. I see some moms there, they're like, yes, that's why. Yeah. Anyways, so my mom was one of those mothers, a single mother with 3 kids, made us play instruments from a young age, and she was a really great mother overall, made us read every day, and I think when you learn from a young age that you can really do anything in life, that you know that the possibilities are endless, that really, really shapes the way you think. And it's part of the reasons that I ended up taking a different path, I think a path less traveled by most, that resulted in this. So, I'm very proud of this, obviously. I have it here, but most people end up asking me, how did you get to that point? How did this happen? And that's the reason I'm here today. I'm not going to talk about my company or how we started it and what we do. We do things in big data. We provide healthcare for many people in multiple countries through telemedicine. It's called doc.com. We created something that has a crypto economy integrated into it, so that means we actually pay people for their data. It's a very innovative process, but the way we got to it, the purpose of why we got to it, that's really the core of what I'm here to talk about. So I'm going to tell you a story. There we go. First of all, like I said, I started at a young age. My mother used to tell us to read every day. She would turn off the TV at 7 o'clock, and we had to go to our rooms to read books. And there was always something that we thought, despite the adversities growing up with a single mother, she always used to tell us there's always a solution. So I always had an optimistic outlook on life. Despite anything that would happen, I was born in Mexico City and moved to the US when I was 7 years old. And so, I was an immigrant in a country where they discriminate sometimes, they have all this polemic stuff happening. And I really felt that heat, So being optimistic is such an important thing in life. It really can change the trajectory of your life if you're just optimistic all the time. There's people, for example, it's all about perspective. There is always a solution to anything. No matter what goes on or what adversities you've lived through, there's probably someone that's gone through something worse or some way you can solve the situation. So that's a key ingredient, I think, in the success that I enjoyed, and I think one of the secrets of success that many people live that we see today. So always be optimistic. Always try to stick to a line that you can solve any problem that's in front of you. Really important. There it goes. All right. Anyways, it permeates so much in my company and what I do every day that they make fun of me. They put pictures of my face, saying that we can find a solution. This is all over the office. It's just funny. They send me pictures of this stuff, but it really comes down to, and when you're in the business world, you really have to think that way. There is always a solution. There is always a solution. Use first principle thinking. Find a solution to anything. The next thing I always tell people, they say, well, what was it really? And, one thing is being optimistic. The next thing is being persistent. These things may sound very basic to anyone, but if you just focus on them every day, they can really transform your life. You know, you don't have to complicate things. You don't have to think of how you're going to create something very big or complex. Just be persistent. You know, things grow little by little. So you have to be very persistent. And you never, ever quit, no matter how hard it gets. Never, ever quit. So we had some times back in the day when, you know, we had very little money, ran out of money multiple times, and in essence, you know, it was either throwing in the towel and quitting or trying to find some other way, negotiating. We would always find a way to negotiate. We would always find a way out. We would always find some way of fixing the problem that we were confronted in because we were persistent. We never, ever gave up. You know, it's been a philosophy of mine. I've had many things. I've had to start over a life, you know, from living in Mexico to moving to the U.S., moving back to Mexico, now moving back to the U.S. again. You know, I had many, many times where I had to start over. At one point, I had to move back with my father because I lost everything. And now, you know, it's every time you go through some adversity, that's what really creates a muscle. You know, doing that, being persistent, never giving up, in those hard times, that really creates a muscle. And that muscle you'll use for your future endeavors, for whatever problem you may have in the future. But those are the times where you have to really push forwards and always be persistent. Most people think they are persistent, but most people aren't. I mean, there's a reason why they say there's a 99% and a 1%. What's going on? It's not that same 1% that's always there. Actually, people from the bottom come to the top. It's always shifting. So what makes that difference? Persistence. Persistence is a huge factor. So I always recommend people, if you go home and before you go to sleep at night, you say, did I do absolutely everything that I could do to achieve whatever goal I set myself or whatever I want to do? Did I actually do that? Are you going to sleep thinking that? If you're not, then in a sense, you're kind of giving up already. And it's really important to feel that moment, to realize that you can push that little extra step. Maybe you can get that done. Maybe you can push forwards. Maybe you can go to sleep, relax, thinking, I did absolutely everything I could today within my power to get this done. And then you let the universe take the lead. You know, the universe will give you things if you really try hard and always persist. And the third thing, part of my life philosophy, is when in doubt, think of love. So a lot of people say, you know, what is it, how is it that you found your passion? You know, because you have to be very passionate in order to get to high levels of anything, high levels of success in anything. And it's really, I always felt that I would follow what I loved. So I get a lot of people, I ask them, I say, well, what do you love? Or they tell me, you know, I love this or I love that. And I tell them, why aren't you doing that then? And they say, well, I love it, but, or I could have, but, there's always that but. You know, and buts are dream killers. So don't use buts. Always think of what you're passionate about. Follow those things, and that will lead to the next thing. If you do something that you love and you become good at it, other people will realize it. And if other people realize it, you will find a link to a purpose. And that's a purpose you can pursue. A lot of people want to find out, how do I find my purpose in life? It's really important. I found my purpose. I'm very lucky. I feel sometimes I'm extremely lucky to have found a purpose I can, at such a young age, and I can pursue for many years to come. You know, it's incredible because you have that, it lets you wake up in the morning and get through any trouble. You know, being a CEO of a company, you usually don't get to see the nice things. You're always trying to fix bad problems or the worst problems that the company has going on. So it's been like that for me, and it's been very different, you know, living the experience in Latin America and in the U.S. But in the end, the reason that I know my purpose and pursuing it, having had started the company and providing free basic healthcare for the world, it always gets you through anything if you find that purpose. This is a great way to find a purpose. Find something you love, become very good at that thing. You know, you can say, I love the piano. Well, now you have to get good at the piano. Or and when you get good at the piano, someone's going to look at you and say, wow, that person's really good at the piano. Can you come play for me? Or can you teach me? And that may become your purpose. You're solving a problem for someone. You're helping someone with something that's positive in their lives. So get good at it, and you'll find a purpose. And always, if you're in doubt, if you don't know what to do, think of love. You know, just anything. You felt something bad because someone said something to you, or you got criticized, or you don't know what to do next. You know, right now is a perfect moment. The pandemic has shown us that nothing is guaranteed. You know, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people don't know what to do next. And if you think, well, is that really a good thing? Do I love that? Or will this give some love out to someone? Or will this product, will I create something that someone loves? If you're not doing that, then I think you're wasting time. Don't waste time. Do something that you really always ask yourself, is this something that has love around it, that gives out love? And that will lead only to good things, no matter how bad the situation gets. It'll lead to good decisions. So, I want everyone, this is something I practice every day. Every day, every morning I wake up and I repeat these things to myself. I'd like for everyone to at least say it once, simultaneously. Ready? So the first thing, very important, remember, good things will happen. 1, 2, 3. Good things will happen. Good, good. Number 2, I will never give up. 1, 2, 3. I will never give up. And number 3, when in doubt, love is the answer. When in doubt, love is the answer. Bravo. Thank you very much, everyone.